Hey, welcome to the Bagger Life. Today we're going to take a look at the VVOR airbag jack system. A little unboxing and a tutorial, and then eventually it gets light outside. We'll plug it into the compressor and see how it runs up and down, and maybe do a little test on lifting something that's lighter, something that's heavier. I've watched a couple of reviews on it and they're mixed. Some people say that it's a terrible and unsafe product. Some people just tout how great it works. So here's God's honest opinion on what it is. Good or bad. You make up your own mind. So it comes with a rather simple set of instructions. Some tubing. Ooh, the jack. Rather heavy. An assembly bar piece. The control handle with valves. Small bag of parts. Now, on some of the videos, they've said this tubing is akin to aquarium tubing. I'm going to tell you that it's much stiffer than that. There's a slot on the back. I'm assuming that's where the hose starts. Well, at this point I don't see what the harm could be in cutting it, so I'm going to do so. That back up on there. Alright, so very quickly I'm going to jump over and get a wrench and tighten all this stuff up and verify the connections of all the fittings that were put on at the factory. And we'll be back for one final look. So after grabbing a small assortment of tools that I found in the house, we're ready to give this thing a once through. Okay, here's something to note. I put this slot on the back, but it pinches the hose. So when you put one of these things together, you probably want to line up the two slots. So I'm going to take this apart and redo it. All right, there you go. One fully assembled VVOR airbag jack. All right, so we'll have to wait till the next day until I can get outside in the light, fire up the compressor, and we'll give it a test. Fortunately for you, that'll be right now. Hey, welcome back to what should have been day 2. It's now months later. We have snow that's come down. And we're out here putting some studs on the van. And we're using the new Vevor jack, and we'll show you what I got going for this setup. So the two front wheels have already been jacked up and put on, taken off, put on. So I've got a slice of wood under there to support the small rubber pad that sits underneath on there, because it just wasn't holding up to that small shock mount. So it's adding a little more surface area. So that's sort of downside number one. You have to watch where you're putting this jack. Other than that, I like to have the controls flipped out to the sides here, so they're a little more easy to get to. Other than that, the thing seems pretty firm. It jacked up the van way too far, way too fast. Not so fast that it was crazy, but it went up higher than I wanted it to. I needed to slow it down, let it back down. It drops stuff nice and slow. So I'm going to get this stud thrown on the van here, and then I'll raise it up for you and set it down. And we're not using anything real crazy. We're using the small little home tank compressor from Lowe's. It goes up to about 110 psi maybe. So nothing extraordinary. So, keep your eye on the bottom of the wheel. So the jack lets things up fully fast, and it wide opens. It sets them down in a reasonably controlled manner. So the jack seems to be fairly stable. I wouldn't bet my life on it crawling around under the van and be 100% sure, like a couple ball jacks and jack stands, that I wasn't going to get crushed. But if I'm working on the outside of the vehicle and throwing on some tires or doing a tire change, or just need to get it jacked up in the air so I can set it down on some jack stands to do the brakes, you know, it's a good option. It's fast, it's light, it should be fully retracted by now. Slips out of there fairly easy, the board stays. I did put a little mark on the pad there where I tried to jack it up without the board, but all in all, for $100 shipped to my door, it seems okay. You know, airbags have been used for years. They lift up semi-trucks with amazingly heavy loads, so we don't have a question about the airbag. What the question is the internal component that keeps the thing stable, and it seems to be okay. I wouldn't go reefing on this van, shaking it around, trying to make it fall off the jack, because, well, quite frankly, it probably would. I don't want to deal with that. But if you're using it in a smart way, it seems like a reasonably good jack. I wouldn't say that the thing's OSHA approved, but, you know, if you're working around the house doing a couple things, like maybe changing over wheels on your Jeep or something like that, you want a fairly compact jack that, you know, for your little home garage or whatnot, it's gonna be fine. I think that Vevor jack's fine. Is this an advertisement for Vevor? Fuck no. Unless they want to pay me. Vevor, are you listening? Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next time, hopefully without the snow on the bike.